Historically, in addition to agriculture for Haudenosaunee people, hunting and fishing were two ways of procuring meat and fish for the community. In the fall and through midwinter, a man and his hunting party were solely responsible for obtaining this necessary sustenance. These activities were done according to set times of the year.
In the past, it was the primary or main way to gather food, feed your family. And going to the nearest grocery store was a day trip or even longer, further away than that.
In regard to fishing, Akwesasne have always been fortunate in having several rivers from which to fish, and this food was an integral part of the Iroquois diet.
Fishing is pretty popular here in Akwesasne. Down Sugarbush, the east end of Snai, was mostly bowhead. We were known for catching lots of bowhead and selling it locally and to the surrounding towns for their fish fries. As soon as the ice went out, everybody started taking their nets, their seine nets and gill nets, and we start catching the bowhead, walleye.
Nets and spears brought in the larger abundance of fish, but poles, hooks, and lines were also used, with a variety of lures.
There's short fishing poles. They're custom made. You can make them yourself or you can buy them. A lot of people like to use minnows. I like to use worms once in a while. There's a lot of weighted jigs of different configurations, lightweight, heavyweight, depending on the water current. So your fingers and your hand and your mind have to get together, and as soon as you feel just that little touch, you gotta act quick.
Ice fishing was an option when the rivers were frozen solid and a hole could be drilled.
You see a lot of people out there fishing. They got the fancy portable huts. Some of them have some permanent shacks that they take out there. Some of them even look like little cottages out there on the racket. Yeah, we don't see the old type of fishing anymore, like where they have these ice fishing shanties, where they would have the larger hole and they would actually do the hand spearing or snaring like they used to.
During the fall hunt, a variety of animals would be sought, ranging from bear and deer to rabbit and wolves. The meats were used to create a variety of meals, and as Akwesasne lived near rivers and marshes, muskrat was also an option.
Yeah, we used to eat that because we were selling the hides for $10 up to $20 locally, and if you sold at auction, it was more than $25 a hide. I remember my Uncle Joe Lewis. One time he caught over 100 muskrat in one day, and we were over there helping them skin them, and people were stopping in to pick up the muskrat to take home. You would parboil it, and you would either make a soup with it or finish cooking it by boiling, then put it in a frying pan and stir fry it with onions and other vegetables.
Deer and moose were also available in the wooded areas. Every part of the animal was used, providing food, clothing, and tools.
But when I was a kid, deer was kind of rare. You would have to go to Fort Compton or Bombay and hunt over there on the farmers' fields. But in the last 30 years, Akwesasne is getting kind of brushy, more wooded areas. So a lot of deer are being hanging around. We do have moose. They travel through Akwesasne. They cross the river and they go into New York State, or they leave New York State for some reason and they go back to Canada and they cross the river through there.
In addition to agriculture, the survival of the Haudenosaunee people was dominated by the seasonal acquisition of fish and game. Although this tradition is less a necessity today, culturally speaking, it continues to exist in order for it to be passed down to the next generation.
For the young person, I would say ask your father, your uncles, your grandparents, talk to them about fishing and hunting. Ask them where they went, how they did it, what did they catch, how did they catch it, how did they cook it, because a lot of that knowledge unfortunately hasn't been passed on. So maybe with storytelling they can take notes and record that part of history where to them it was normal day-to-day life, but to us it's history.